The story of O.J. Simpson. From hero to villain. From hero to villain, from the spotlight to the shadows. This is the story of O.J. Simpson. Imagine this. It's the 1970s, and everyone in America knows the name O.J. Simpson. He was a football legend, a star on the field with unmatched talent. For millions of Americans, O.J. represented success, power, and charisma. He was the best at what he did, a true hero. But in an instant, everything changed. On June 12, 1994, the news hit like a bombshell. Nicole Brown Simpson, O.J.'s ex-wife, was found murdered. And all eyes turned to O.J. Simpson himself. This wasn't just any murder case. It was a case that captivated the nation. People everywhere asked, could this football hero really be a murderer? Could the man they admired so much be capable of something so horrific? But the truth was far from clear. At that time, O.J. was more than just a football player. He was a cultural icon. His image was everywhere. And yet, suddenly, he was the prime suspect in a brutal crime. The world watched as he went on a high-speed chase in a white Bronco, followed by helicopters and TV cameras. It was like a scene straight out of a thriller movie, but it was real life. The trial. Oh, the trial was unlike anything anyone had seen before. It was more than just a murder trial. It was a national spectacle. The courtroom became a stage, and everyone had a role. The best lawyers, the sharpest testimonies, and the most shocking moments played out on live TV. And then came the surprising twist. O.J. Simpson was acquitted. Yes, you heard that right. In 1995, the world was left in shock and disbelief. The man who was once America's favorite athlete was now walking free, acquitted of double murder. But was this the end of the story? Not quite. The turn of events. Despite his acquittal, O.J.'s life didn't exactly go back to normal. Years later, in 2007, O.J. found himself back in the headlines. But this time, it wasn't for football. And it wasn't for another trial related to murder. It was for armed robbery. O.J. was accused of robbing a memorabilia dealer in Las Vegas. This time, there was no hero's welcome. No cheering crowds, just prison time. The man who once graced magazine covers and TV commercials was now serving time in prison. Conclusion. O.J. Simpson's story is a perfect example of how American stories can go from the extreme highs to the devastating lows. From being an iconic athlete to becoming one of the most controversial figures in history, O.J.'s life took unexpected twists and turns that left the world questioning. Was he a hero or a villain? What would have happened if he hadn't been acquitted? Could his life have turned out differently? These are questions that will continue to stir debate for generations to come. Would you have believed O.J. could go from being one of America's greatest athletes to a criminal? His story remains one of the most debated in American history.